Hello and welcome to Really Pretty Gaming and welcome to a new series I call Golden Oldies. What Golden Oldies is older games or games of particular note from when I was younger. And this game is called OpenTTD or Open Transport Tycoon Deluxe. OpenTTD is a open source transportation simulator based on Transport Tycoon Deluxe. Players build and manage transportation companies by constructing networks of trains, trucks, ships, planes, to move cargo and passengers around growing cities and industries. I love this game, and I loved it when I was younger. This was one of these games that really got me hooked into gaming, as we now call it. The graphics are not incredible, you can see, but the gameplay is absolute chef's kiss. It really, really is. I'm really looking forward to jumping into this. I will be talking about the game as we go through, but the actual premise of it is you start a company from the beginning and you build it all back up. And how you start your company and your first transportation lines can make or break your business. So anyway, enough of this introduction. Let's get into this and let's get creating a multi-million pound, hopefully earning company. Okay, the first thing we want to do is establish our company. No name, nothing like that. So first of all, let's give ourselves a company name. We will go really pretty. We can change stuff like color schemes, so you can get all different colors, all that sort of stuff. I'm going to stick with green. We're going to pink. No, we'll go green. I like a green. Manager's name. SG Jones is fine. Manager's face. So when I was younger, I don't know why, but my characters always had glasses. So I'm pretty happy with this, and we'll stick with it from there. So let's close this up. So that's the basics done. Once we start establishing ourselves, we can start to build the HQ. That sort of helps us establish the company a little bit more, gives us a bit more options. But at this moment in time, we're starting from scratch and we've got nothing. So what do we do from there? Our company has been established. We need to start making money. So by doing that, we need to start transporting products around. There's lots of different products in this game. Let me bring up the map here. So these are all your different ways of different industries you can earn money from. What we're going to do is just to make it nice and easy, is we're going to go for a coal run today. So I'm going to disable all of them apart from coal, and the coal is delivered to a power stations. There's already a coal station here. The reason why I'm doing this is because it's normally good money. It's easy to establish. It's a lot of money up front, but you can start earning quite good money quite quickly. So we've got a coal plant here, and we've got another one here, and we've got another one just over here as well behind this forest. With a power station down here. So what I'm going to try and do is loop up these three coal mines to this power station here. That should hopefully give us a nice, easy start and some money coming in. Okay, now we've established what we're going to do. Let's start building it. We can run road from these places, but I'm all about the railways, and railways is a good way of moving products really, really quickly. So I am going to build a small railway from this initial coal plant down to this power station. What I'm then eventually going to do is I'm going to link this coal plant up to this coal plant, or where there'll be a station, and the same as with this one. So we've got 3 lots of coal going into one power plant. First thing we're going to do, we need to unpause the game. Let's start to build a station here. So I'm going to build a 2-track station and platform length. So the longer your platform, the longer your trains can be. And the more tracks you have, the more input you can have into those stations. We're just going to keep it nice and simple for the minute. We're going to build... let's go... Actually, we'll go with that. So I'm going to build this here. And I'm just literally going to run a nice straight line out of the station. Get rid of these trees just so we can see ourselves building a little bit more. Oh, didn't mean to do that. One of the key things you need to do when you're building is to make it easily accessible. Have it accessible so trains can come in and out of your stations nice and easy. So we'll do this, and then we'll do some signaling in a minute. Let's just continue building the station down this hill. So thankfully, everything down here is downhill. So that will help when it's quite loaded up. We're just going to move this over, and what I'm eventually going to do is bring the line out a little bit to here. Okay. And this can come out. Shouldn't have done that. Okay. You're going to have to do a little bit of landscaping. So landscaping is where you can move the land around. Okay, we're going to go down that up as well. So you want this to be as smooth as possible, but landscaping is quite expensive. You can see how much we've spent already. Down here is where our money is. So you've got to be a little bit careful. You don't want to spend too much too quickly. I am then going to build... So you see this little purple area? This is showing you like a catchment of the station. So if you see where it says accepts, at the minute it accepts coal. If you drag it outside of the power station, it's then nothing. There's something else here, wood, so it'll be a sawmill. So the idea of these lines, you want to make them as long as possible. The longer it is, the more money you'll earn. So I don't want to go too far, but I feel like that's probably a good length. So we'll stick with this. And we'll have some track coming up here. And then let's connect these tracks. So there, there. Perfect. Two here. And then what you want to do is, like I said, do these crisscrosses over in front of the station. So a train can effectively enter each one of the tracks. We could do single tracks, but we're probably going to want to go to a double track relatively quickly. So I'm just future-proofing what's going on here. Okay, the next thing we need to do, or what I'm going to do, is build signals. So what signals are obviously allowed to do is allow you to control what trains go down each line and how many of them. So we're going to end up building these. These are called path signals. So these basically allow you to create a path for trains to go down. So as you can see, you've got one. You can change the direction. These are perfect. So what I'm going to do is stick on the right-hand side of the lane is going to be going one way, and then the left-hand is going to be going the opposite. So you always want to remember that, otherwise you'll have problems further on down the line. Can we do this? We can. Let's go there and here. So as it currently set up, we've got the trains can come down this way on this line and can come back down on this way onto this line. Perfect. What can also happen is when you have multiple trains is if you don't have enough signals, they won't be able to go through the signals until... So a train will go through and it has to go through the next signal before it can continue. So what you also want is signals in the middle, so you've got space to allow these trains to go through. I'm going to future-proof this, and I'm going to put a few more signals in, just so we can get things moving and I don't have to come back to this. Perfect. Right, that's our signals done. The next thing we need to do is to be able to build and service our trains. So this is where we go to our train depots. Where's the best place to put train depots? Probably going to be up here because we've got a bit more space. So I will build it here. So what this does with our train depot is we can now build our trains. Okay, so let's get going. This is the fun bit. Okay, so we're starting a little bit later than you normally do. Normally you start in the 1950s, so you've only got the steam trains. But because we're starting a little bit later, we've got different trains here available, diesel ones. And here tells all your stats and your details about the train. So we won't need this one for passengers, so these are the ones we want. So you want a fine line balance between speed, power, and reliability. The faster you get there, the better it is. The more powerful, the more trucks you can have. But reliability is important because what you don't want is them continuously breaking down. So this one here has got a reliability of 79%. That's quite low. 84 is still quite low, but this one seems quite good. 98 is pretty good. Still 90 miles an hour. And it's the fastest other than this one. The power is still pretty good. Yeah, I think this is probably going to be the one we're going to go for. So I'm going to purchase this vehicle. We've purchased our first train. Fantastic. But we need to pull our cargo. So we need to get ourselves some trucks. So you want to get yourself some coal trucks. These are all the different other trucks you can get for your trains. You know, from mail vans, oil, livestock, grain hoppers, all that sort of stuff. So when we're moving other stuff, you'll have different carriages. Let's just load ourselves up with a full length train of coal. So that's our train now purchased. The next thing we need to do is we need to give it orders. Tell it where to go and tell it where to go and to drop off these orders. So, yep. See, this is now reminding me, no orders. So if you click here, this is where you get all the details about your train. This is telling you about your profits, what it's earned, all this sort of stuff, as well as your reliability. That goes down over time as well, so you need to keep an eye on that. that is not what we wanted. We wanted this one here, which is show train orders. So what I'm going to do is get the train to go up here to the mines and to drop it back down off at the power station. So if you click on here, we want it to be fully load. So we don't need to worry too much about that. It'll be any cargo, but it's only going to be coal. And then we want it to drop off here, so we unload all. That is now our train with orders. It's telling us, well, we've told it what we want it to do. Now we've got to set it on its way. So you click this button, and the train will come out. So what happens here is that when the station knows there's a train on the way, it will then acknowledge, okay, we can now start accepting and start creating. You see how now this coal's being created and it's been loaded up. So we now need to wait for this to get to 100%, and we can travel down there, and then hopefully we can start to make some money. While we're waiting for that to load up, I'm going to start on the expansion so we can get more coal coming through. Okay, so we identified there was another coal mine here a little bit further up. So what we're then going to do is the same thing. We're going to build a station, and we're going to connect it up to this main hub that will then feed everything down to the power station. So because this is a little bit of a smaller coal plant, and because I want to make sure we've always got trains, we want them to be turning up to the station, picking up a full load and leaving straight away. So I'm just going to do this as a single line. We may update it when we get a bit further down the line. So we're going to do something very similar. I'm just going to run a station, but we're just going to do a single track this time. So as you can see, you've got some land here that makes it a bit difficult for us to put our station down. Could put it there, actually. In fact, I will do that, pop that there. Saves us some of the costs of landscaping. And we're just going to run up this hill. And what I aim to do is to bring it into the back of this station, so you can drop it off, and hopefully there won't be a train in that sort of area. We may have to upgrade this and put a third platform in, but we'll see how we get on. Okay, let's start building. Okay, so I've got the line connected. I decided to upgrade the station straight off the bat. What I don't want is interference of other trains trying to get in here to unload and other trains that are trying to pick up stock. So, yeah, what I've done is I've popped an extra platform this end. So this would just purely be dedicated for this line. Okay, so we can't really use this depot because this train line isn't connected to the other train line. So I'm just going to pop another depot just outside of this station, just so we've got a dedicated depot for this train. And then we're just going to build another one. So what I'm going to do is pretty much build the exact same train. So this is where we have to be a bit careful. We're now on our second train. Our first train hasn't actually made any money in a minute. So as you can see, our money's getting a little bit low. Now, we can take loans, and we probably will do that moving forward. But the less loans you take, the better it is in the future. You pay interest on these loans. That's money out of your profit, effectively. So let's see how we get on building this train, and we'll go from there. Can we build a full train? Probably not. No, we're just shy. So what we're going to do is we're going to have to go to the bank and take a loan. Okay, so for finances, click on this button. This takes us to our finances. At the minute, you can see we've already got a loan of 100,000, and our company is currently making no money. So it's our operating costs. So this is where we've just, we're not earned any money at all. This is just purely spending. So it's going to look bad. It's going to look low. Right, let's borrow some money. Let's get the second train built. The sooner we get that going, the sooner we can start making some money. Okay, let's get this final coal truck built. And that is now complete. So we need to give it some directions. So we want to come here, and we're going to go to this station. And we're going to do fully load and fully unload. Oh, we'll come down and see this. That's our other train just heading off. Let's get this one off and going. So this will now be going to this mines, and then we'll start picking up cargo. Okay, our train is on the way. Let's hopefully see us earn some money from this. Let's see how much we earn. Here we go. What we're gonna get? Okay, £11,000. Doesn't seem like a lot, but the more of these lines you have, the more it will start to earn. The more it will start to work through. The important thing is as well is why this train has been dropping this off. um, coal has been stored at the station. So hopefully next time it won't be full, but next time we get there, it will be a bit quicker, which is what you want it to be. Let's see how full our train will become. Okay. So it's only filled 1, 2, 3, 3.5 of our carts. So we've still got a long way to go, but anyway, we'll leave that one to finish loading up. Let's go back to our second train. Our second train and our first train are about the same sort of amount of loading. So what's going to end up happening is when this train here drops them off to here, all of a sudden this will have a full load. So this station's going to get started busy quite quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do our other upgrade, or bring our other coal mine in. So then we've got 3 coal mines coming into one station. Money is still a little bit tight, but let's see what we can get. We need to start establishing this route so it can start earning money. So I'm building my third train, and I've had the same issue again. I've run out of money. So back off to the bank to get some more money so we can upgrade this and get this finished. Oh, I don't want to borrow more. So let's get up to where we need to be. Okay. There we go. So this train is now done. Let's give him his orders. I'm going to go to here. I'm going to drop them off at this station. Unload, fully load and unload. Perfect. Okay, so our third train is now off and getting ready to pick up his first load. So it all takes a bit of time, but once this gets going, it will compound, and then hopefully start to earn some real money then. Let's go check on our second and our first and second train, see how they get on. Okay, as we can see, the second train is now just about to drop off his load here. So if you watch this number here, it's currently got 1 ton there, 11 tons. By the time that unloads, that will unload the full train amount. There we go. Also got a little bit of transfer money. So because you're not selling it to an industry, you still get a little bit of money to cover the cost. But there's now 420 tons waiting there. And the first train is just ending back up down at the power station. So should be another 11 grand, hopefully. Let's have a little look what we've got. Boom. There you go. Another £11,000. Perfect. And the sweet thing about this is train number 1 is now going to go straight back up to this rail station. Should be able to fully load and go straight back. The whole idea is we want trains to be coming in and out of there constantly. So train 2 and train 3 are just feeder trains, whereas train number 1 is taking it down to the power station. Okay, train 1 is now coming back into the station, and as you can see, it's a fast loading. And there's most of that coal now being taken. So we've still got 93 tons left over. So by the time train 1 gets back down, pops off to the power station, and comes back up, hopefully that by itself would just be a full load. We've also got train 2 up here, about half full. We've got train 3 down here, about 64%. So all of a sudden, this train's going to get this station's going to get really, really busy really, really quickly. Let's go check this out. This should hopefully be another £11,000. Oh, 12,000. Even better. Okay, so we're now seeing the basics of the supply chain here. So we're taking coal from our basic resource, applying it down to the power station and selling it to them. So by having this sort of two-pronged attack, what we're now seeing is this main station here should always have coal and always be fed. By the time train 2 and 3 drop this off here, this train will start to be inundated. So let's just see how this one is. Okay, so we've just got to that point where we're half full, and then now just waiting for this to be topped up. So give it a couple more minutes. We'll have train 2 and train 3 should be taking their coal to that station, and like I said, this station is going to get really busy really quickly. Okay, so while I was looking for what I was going to do next, this is an interesting part actually. So this is what happens when a train breaks down. Literally, you sort of see smoke coming out of it. It stays stationary for a period of time. It probably needs to go back to the depot. Okay, so what we've missed while I was dealing with that is train 3 had dropped off a full load, and train 1 had picked up another load as well. So we can see we're now starting to get to close to 300 tons just sitting there waiting. The full tonnage of this amount is... it's close to it. So to be fair, hopefully by the time he comes back up, we should be able to just pick up a full load. Let's see how much train 1 makes this time. £14,000. So the money is going up as we're increasing our efficiency. The longer the vehicle is stationary, the less it will make, basically. So train 2 has just put some more coal up here. So, like I sort of said, this station is now starting to get really, really busy. We're going to leave it a little while longer, but I think we're going to need another train really, really soon. But what I want to do is I want to expand our network and get even more coal coming into this. So let's scope out some different areas. Okay, so I've scoped out this coal plant here. It's not very big, and I know there's a power station here, so we could put a train from here to here. But I don't think it's going to earn a lot of money. The problem is with small coal mines as well. There's only 94 tons being produced. The issue with that is industries can close at any moment in time. It's normally small ones that are more likely to close than larger ones. But wherever its position is, it's not that far from this station where train 3 is picking up coal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a direct link here to transfer to this station. Then train 3 would then have more to carry effectively. Not only have we got this one, but I also managed to find this one down here. So we've now got 3, 4, 5 potential coal plants powering our power station. Hopefully this is going to start to scale up really, really quickly. So let's make a start and get upgrading. Okay, so with this coal plant, because we're looking to have a train drop some more in there, I'm going to go with 2 tracks. So we're going to go back to what we did with the original one with 2 tracks. So we're going to go this way, just so it's a bit more space. You have to think about where you're going to cross here as well, because we have to build some bridges, and you want it to be as seamless as possible. It's not really... That's probably the best of a bad scenario, but it's a bit close to here, so we'll just have to do this. So we'll plonk it here. Coal is still supplied. Perfect. Okay, so let's start connecting up to this other station. So what we might have to be a bit careful of as well is there's going to be 2 coal plants worth of coal coming into here, and it's going to be going into this smaller station. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to actually upgrade this station as well. Okay, so we're coming out of a station. So what I'm looking to do is I'm going to have this track here is going to be purely for delivery from this coal mine and the coal that comes to here to this station here. So let's go straight out, and we're going to build our first bridge straight across here. Oh, no, I've done this wrong already, because I remember you need to give it a square to go up. So we're going to go up and over. Okay, so what bridge do you choose? This one's nice and cheap. This one's really, really expensive. But if you can see here, this is the speed that a train can go over. Let's just get rid of that for a minute. We'll come back to it in a minute. So this is the speeds that trains can come over. At the minute, our trains are going at 90 miles an hour, remember. So we want a minimum of this one. But for the monetary difference, we might as well future-proof it. We will have faster trains soon, and we come through to electric at some point as well. We can worry about that at this moment in time, but let's go for this one. So if we get another diesel that goes a bit faster, this will cover our bases. So we'll go for this one. Right, that one's built. Let's continue this up this hill, and if we're lucky, look at that, straight onto there as well. So I'm going to build this just shy of this at this moment in time. What I'm going to do as well here is I'm going to start prepping our train here. Get our train ready to go. So while he's... Another breakdown there. While he's building up his coal load in here, we can then start to finish the last pit. So I'm looking at the money. We've actually got some good money in a minute. So we've now got some money to reinvest back in. So we haven't had to take out a loan to create this train, and we've still got 86,000 in the bank. So this is looking really good. I'm going to do the other upgrades to the other coal plant, and then I might pay some back to that loan. Anyway, let's get this rocking and rolling. So we want this to go to this station, and we want it to unload here. For load, unload. So when we release him, he may have a bit of a problem because he can't currently get to this station because I've not connected it. But he seems fine. But the reason why I've done this is while he's loading his coal, I can start to do all these upgrades. See, he's It's not even unloading yet. So he's now just starting to load up. Okay, so this gives us a little bit of time. So what am I going to do here? So I could bring the track straight into here, but the problem is while this train is loading, I can't have another train go in. So I'm going to need to upgrade this station. I'm going to put another line in. So we're going to go for a single line. Probably going to pop it here. See if you add a line, they're still the same station. I'm going to bring this back a little bit because we don't actually need it to be this fast. We could do a corner that quickly, but that's not really what you want to do here. Also, I like to leave a bit of space in front of the platforms. As and when we upgrade, if we go to put 2 tracks on here, we're going to need that extra space. So let's go 1 out, and then we'll do 2 down. Okay, so this train is now connected. He can now get from here, Wanton Woods, up to Dungfingfield Woods, can transfer that load onto here. Okay, so while this is loading up, we'll make a start on the next one as well. Okay, same again here. We're going to be going straight down, but we want it to be as straight as possible. The straighter the track, the better it is, the more efficient it is. This is going to be a pretty straight line. Let's get rid of these trees. So we want to be going up this route somewhere past here. Yeah, that should work nicely. I might even bring it up this hill. Gives us a bit more space to go into here. But anyway, so we want to come out from this station 1, and then we can start to go down. In fact, I am going to go to here so we can then drop down this layer. The thing I like about this as well is if we need to expand, for one reason we need to expand, we can expand again. It gives us more space. Anyway, let's start getting this built down. Okay, so that's our last coal mine done and ready to rock and roll. I just need to buy another train. So let's click on the depot. Let's go for another one of these diesels and coal trucks up to 7. So this tells you the length of the train, this little area here. So you know when we had a station length of 7, this tells you that length. So at least you don't have them go too long or go too short. Okay, let's give you your orders. Connect up to here. I'm going to set him go so he can start to load up and then unload here. So full load, unload. Okay, so train number 5 is going to start loading up here. Let's go back to our original trains. Let's see how they're getting on. Okay, so we're back to the original part of the line. Oh, that's a nice transfer, just around 6,000 for doing that. We've got train 1 that is currently working its way down to power station. Let's have a look to see what we earn here. 16,000 or just over. So you see the amounts are going up, which is good. Over the period of time, over the years, the amount you'll get paid will go up slightly, but you'll get more money for efficiency. So where we started off at 11,000, we're now get to 16. Most of that is efficiency because our train is not waiting in the station for so long. Okay, so train 1's going to work their way back up to the mines. Ooh. Ferries. Maybe we'll do something like that later. Okay, so our main hub station. Let's see how this is getting on. This train keeps breaking down actually before we... So let's have a look, see the details here. See how the reliability has gone really, really low. So this train needs to go for a service in the depot and hopefully go do this now. Breakdown since last service. So it's not going in for servicing. So I might need to have a look at the service intervals here, which is 150 minutes. And it's just broke down again. Okay, so we definitely need to change this. Okay, so I've just been having a little play around, see what we can do. And what we're going to have to do is force this train to go to the depot for its intervals. It keeps breaking down, as we can see. So what we want to then do is part of its orders, you want to send it to the depot. So it's about to unload here. As it works back up, it will go to the depot, force it to have a service, and then hopefully we can have this train running a bit more consistency. Let's have a look to see the difference. There we go. We're back up to 98%. So what we're probably going to find is it shouldn't break down, but that percentage has already gone down. So what we might have to do is tweak it a little bit later on. Maybe that train does 2 trips down before it goes to the depot. But we'll come back to that a little bit later on. Okay, so I've just come to check train 2, and as you can see, the reliability is 94%. So without being ordered to go to the depot, this one has actually already gone, which is great, which means that they can keep moving and keep going nice and efficiently. Let's go check some of our other trains, make sure we've got the same thing going on there. Okay, train 3 has just delivered some more coal. We're going to have to check in this station in a minute, because I think this is going to start getting backed up. Anyway, the reliability here is 88%. So, again, I think this train has been going back to the depot a little bit. Let's see if it just naturally goes past. What it should do is reach a certain percentage and go straight in there. No, obviously doesn't need to, so which is absolutely fine. Okay, so our other trains, we've just done our upgrades. 4 and 5. So this is 4 with the big station, the sorting station. So what's going to happen is this train is just going to move this coal down to here. And there's already a bit of a backlog, and then they're going to move this train down to here. So we're going to have to keep an eye on these stations, this one particularly, but this one as well, because what we then don't want is too much of a backlog moving forward. But we need a bit of time. We can see what's going on with this. Let's go check on train 5, make sure this one's doing okay. Okay, so this one's just about to leave. Perfect. What I'm going to do while I'm here, so it's probably only done 1 or 2 lines, but we're just going to have a look at the details here. And we're going to look here at the profit this period. So as you can see, the profit is minus 900 and going down. So it's not the best profit. But as you can see from our money down here, we are making money. The business is making money. So whereas this train was probably not making a massive amount of money, you can see what the running cost is costing it. But obviously just by transferring, it's covering those running costs, but the big money's being made over our big station. Okay, so this one's unloading. You see the profit, so the profit's gone down, the minus has gone down. There we go, so £5,500. So that's pretty good. And we're back in profit for this train particularly itself. So if the running period is just shy of 2,000, and the profit for this period so far was 5.5, we're still making money, which is really, really good. Okay, we now need to go address the probably big, coaly elephant in the room, which is that original station. Let's go see if by adding all these add-ons, we've got ourselves a bit of a backlog. Okay, so we now have nearly 1,500 tons backlogged, waiting here to be delivered. This train's about to deliver some more. Train 2 isn't too far off it as well. We clearly then need another train to start transporting some of this. So, as you can see, this one's just finished. We've now got 1,800 tons. This train coming back and forth, we're going to need to get another train on them. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go to new vehicles. And what you can do here as well is you can clone a train. So, we're just going to click clone this train. It's a complete clone of it. Just makes things a bit easier. So, we've now got 2 trains on this line. So, this is where future-proofing these, having 2 tracks, is going to really, really help. New train is now starting to load up, and the first train is now starting to deliver. So this train line is going to start getting a bit busy. What I'm going to do is, because whenever a train leaves a station and enters a station, there's always a bit of a delay for other trains. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just pause this train just for a little bit of distance get between this train and this train. Wow, it took a long time to slow down. Hopefully then it should they should work in tandem. Now what might happen is we might eventually need a third. If we need a third, then we may need to space that out a little bit more. Okay, so this train is now leaving. So we'll set this guy on the way. Let's check what this one's profit is. 28,000, well, nearly 29. Okay, that's really, really good. And let's see what this train then, obviously the profits will probably be down a little bit because we've had it standing still for a little bit. But let's see what we earn from this. 17,000. That number is going up and up and up. Good. We're starting to earn some good money here. We've got nearly £200,000 in the bank. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that money, I'm going to invest it into probably a new industry. So let me pop to the map, have a little look, and I'll see what I find. Okay, so I just had a little look to see what I wanted to do, and the one thing I thought I'd show you would be passengers and mail. So dealing with cities and towns and cities. Lucky for us, I had a look at the size population, and we've got this one right here that is the biggest on the map, and our next biggest is this one here. So we've got 2 really quite close together. We've also got a small town in the middle. So what we're going to do is we're going to get a passenger service that runs, I'm probably going to do a dogleg one. It's going to run around here, a station here, and then run into this way as well. The one thing you need to know when dealing with passengers and mails is that the bigger the town or the city, the more passengers and mail they'll produce. The more they produce, the more you can transport, the more you transport, the more you can make. So what you want to do is concentrate on building these towns and cities as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to build a circular bus route within this city. So at the minute you can see the town is not growing. But what we do is by moving passengers around the city, you encourage growth, more passengers, more you're moving, more money. So I'm just going to set the boundaries, set the basics for both these cities so they can be growing while we're then producing our railway. Okay, so we're going to do some road construction in these. So as you can see, the road is pretty much already well established here. So you don't really need to add anything to this. But what we do need to add is some bus stations. And bus stations are a place where passengers will be picked up. So I believe what you want to do is you want 4 bus stations in a city to help it grow for its most peak. Now, we were talking earlier about the catchment, this sort of like bluey purple area. This tells you the catchment of what we're doing. So at the minute, say passengers, and if you go out here where there's nothing there, it still says nothing. So what we want to do is we don't want a massive amount of overlap. This city will grow quite quick. So I'm thinking of popping one somewhere around here, somewhere down here, probably one down here, and maybe one up here. So to try and minimize that catchment. Okay, so I've built my bus stations. I've purposely try to get them as far away as possible so the catchment areas isn't crossing over too much. But obviously, there is going to be some crossover. It's not the biggest. Okay, the next thing we need is a bus depot for our buses to come from. I'm just going to put it right here, and we're then going to get some buses. So, what have we got here? We've got 2 bus options here for passengers at the minute. Again, we want to be looking at reliability, speed. Power isn't as much of a big issue, particularly with passengers. But this one looks a lot better. Okay, so what we're going to do is initially we're going to buy 4 of them. Actually, what we're going to do is to make life easier, I'm going to show you a little trick. So all they're going to do is they're going to go to this bus station, this bus station, this bus station. You can't quite see this one, but it's behind here, and this bus station. So the whole idea is it just does a circular route around. You don't need to full order. It just needs to be moving around. Moving those passengers will encourage growth. Okay, so let's set this one underway. We're going to clone our vehicle like we did with the train earlier. I'm going to let this bus get a little way along the way before we then let him on his way. You don't want them to bunch up too much, otherwise they just won't catch passengers efficiently enough. I like them to get to the next station ahead before we set them off. So then, here we go. This one goes off. I'm going to clone another vehicle. And while I'm here, I'm going to clone one more. Okay, row 2's just got down to that bus station. Well, he's actually made some income, so that's pretty good. Let's set off bus 3. And then as soon as bus 3 gets down to here, we're going to set off for bus 4. You want that space. There we go. So we're setting off bus 4. So bus 1 is now working his way back. Let's see if he's got any passengers. Doesn't have any passengers, but that's the first time he's gone there. So the vehicles have to go to their stations before they will start to build up passengers or whatever material you're trying to go with. So if we go down to, say, this one, there was 4 passengers waiting. So there we go. It's very, very small stuff. There's not going to be a lot of money made here, but what this does eventually is it starts to grow. We now have got growth. It now says the town is growing every 52 seconds. So, perfect. Well, it's just gone up. Oh, sorry, it's just gone down to 40. So, we can see the effect of moving these passengers around. So, again, this is going to start growing very, very quickly. I'm just going to establish the bus route for the other town, the other city, and then we'll get a train in. Okay, that's that bus route established for this city now. Okay, now we've got this city that it's now starting to grow. It says 160 a minute. That will go down. It's already dropped. They go down to 76. So now those populations are growing. Let's start to get this passenger service and mail train sorted out. Our finances have just come up. So This then tells us year on year how much we're earning. So last year, we made a profit of £249,752. Pretty good. Can't argue with that. And a lot of these minuses are all just going to be from building costs or operating expenses. If we can't go back any further at this moment of time, but you can see that our profit is going up from 48 up to that. Now, the reason why this is so much is there's new vehicle costs and construction. So that's where a lot of that money has gone. So it's always having that balance. Effectively, you always want to be making money, not spending money. So while we've got this money here, and while I'm thinking about this, I'm going to repay my loan. There's no point paying 2% interest back on this loan at all. So there we are. We're all done and dusted. We are financially stable, hopefully. Okay, let's get back to this passenger service. Okay, like I said earlier, you get paid per distance that you deliver something. So I want to make this not too long, but I want to... Sending a train from here to here is probably not gonna earn too much more money. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start our train probably this side. I'm going to wing it around over this town and loop it back. The reason why I'm going to do that is it's a longer distance from city to city, but more importantly, a little bit further down the line, I'll connect this town up to it as well, so then we've got 3 places instead of 2. Right, let's start building from down here then. The one thing you want to be really careful with is when you build track over roads. Trains, when they go over roads, if the bus hasn't got out of the way, the train will plow through a bus and will destroy it, and then you'll end up killing people. It's obviously not what you want. The towns and the cities will not be happy with you, and obviously you'll destroy a vehicle as well. So you've got to make sure you plan this pretty well. Unfortunately, this road coming out here is probably going to get in my way a little bit, because I want it to come across this way. So what I might do is... Let me have a little think about this. Okay, so I've had a little scope around, and I think I've decided what we're going to do. I'm going to build my train station going this way, and then I'll have it go down and out. Now, I'm not going to be able to get a train station of that length into here because of this hill. So we need to go back over here to landscaping, and we need to raise the land a little bit. I remember I said to you earlier, landscaping can be quite expensive. This is hundreds. We're now dealing in hundreds of thousands now, so we've got a bit more money to spend on this. But in early days, it can be a real killer when you're trying to establish your first lines. Okay, let's pop the station in there. Perfect. And didn't mean to do that. Expensive mistake. Okay, so it's just going to be a nice simple track. I'm just going to go for a single track at this moment in time. It's going to be mixed passenger and mail bags, which if you click on your station, you can see what it accepts, which will be passenger and mail bags and goods. Goods, don't worry about it in a minute. We might do something a little bit later on. I'm going to build the other station down here while we're thinking about it. I'm going to build this right there. Perfect. Okay, remember what I said earlier. I'm going to snake it around the top of this part so we can hopefully eventually connect up this town. Town? Yeah, this town earlier. Okay, let's get building. Okay, so I've finished connecting up this train line. What you might have seen is I've raised a little bit of land here. So what you don't really want to do is have 2 sharper corners. They take the speed out of your train. Now, coming out of here shouldn't be too much of an issue because it won't be at full speed. And going down here will be... coming back up here won't be too much of an issue neither because you'll kill a bit of speed going up this hill. It just makes things a bit smoother, a bit more efficient. Okay, let's build ourselves a depot. We'll go here. Let's see what vehicles we've got here. So we've still got the old steam trains. These ones here are really good for passengers. You can change them around, but they're just like a single unit. £13,000 off you go. But actually, what I think I might do is probably go for one of these diesels again. Probably go for this one again. And then what I'm going to do is we're after passengers and mails. Now, they always create more passengers than mail, but you want to make sure you still move that mail. So let's go this amount. of that amount of mail. Perfect. Now, the one thing I will tell you now is there is no way we're going to be getting full loads out of these stations. But what the cities will see is there is a transport service that is delivering their passengers to another city. So that, again, will build the population, and more people. So this won't be perfect, and it will probably take a while to really earn any decent money, but it is a real builder. So if we'd have a look at this, the town's still growing every 40 seconds, so it is growing. There you go. Now the citizens have seen that's there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave this passenger line for a little bit just to evolve and establish, and I'm going to go check some of my other lines, particularly that coal, that main train station. Let's see how backed up that is. Okay, so let's check out these stations. So this is our main station. Adding that second train has really helped moving the coal around. You can see that the coal, we've just had a train leave and it's 51 tons or 60 tons of coal, and yet the other train has just come back now. So we're probably about on level of where we need to be. But what I did also see is this station is starting to back up a little bit. So where you've got 2 coal plants delivering to one station, this one train is, I wouldn't say it's struggling, but it's now starting to get to the point where we need to keep a bit more of an eye on it, particularly if we put any more coal through this. But for the minute, I think it's pretty balanced and I'm pretty happy with what's going on here. If you ever find yourself with an industry close by, but you don't know what it needs or where you need to put it to, if you click on it, you get this industry chain that comes up. And as you can see, this is an iron ore mine, and this needs to go to a steel mill. So if you transfer this to a steel mill, that steel mill will create steel, and you can get it to a factory. So when you get these industry chains, that's how you start to really make money. So the coal is earning us really good money. We're nearly at 500,000. So that's fantastic, and I cannot be happy with that. But when you start to get into these more complicated chains, that's when you start to earn the big money. We also haven't really looked into this as well, but we also have boats which you can build, and another one that I really enjoy is airports and airplanes. So you can build these big old airports and have planes that fly around the area. So what you can effectively do is, if you want cities to be building on each side of the map, go from one end to the other, build them up nicely, nice big city down here, and have another big city up here. Now, one thing I do have is one of the biggest cities is actually up in this corner. So what I could do moving forward is to get some buses in here, start to encourage this growth. It's currently not growing. And then I could build an airport around here and then bring passengers from there down to where we've been upgrading and building these cities over here. That's a really good way. And passengers on planes, that's where you can start to earn some really good money. Okay, let's just check in with this train while we're here. Okay, so we are starting to get some passengers, which is good. Quite a few passengers, actually. And the mailbags are filling up as well. So as we can see, we're actually going to earn some money here. So this city was a little bit smaller, but, it's going to take a little while to pick up. While we're here, let's have a little check. Let's see how much money this little train makes. Okay, it's just unloading everyone now. Let's see what we get up to. Okay, 3,000. That's not too bad at all. If we check the train's running costs, it is making money. It's also just broke down. It is making money, but it will build and build as it goes along. So you can see a lot here. There's sort of 5 passengers, that sort of stuff. So it is a bit spotty, but it will start to make money. Okay, we'll just come back to check our coal operation, and let's just check the main station. Okay, so there's nothing currently waiting. This coal mine is only having 68% transported, so which is interesting because obviously we've always got trains going in here. So what you can do to increase that number is to have more vehicles on the line. The more vehicles on the line, the more will be transported. The more that's transported, the more it will produce as well. So we do need to keep a bit of an eye on that. So maybe we can push it up a little bit. Let's go check this train out. What's going on over here? Okay, so this one is currently in minus profit at the minute. It's just about full, and I think that's probably why it's in minus profit. I think by the time it drops off to the station, it gets transfer fee, we'll probably be back to where it needs to be. Look, this has been very lucrative and a really good solid start to my little empire here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build myself my HQ right here, right next to it. So what happens is as your company builds, as your company value builds, your HQ will build as well. So at the minute, as you can see, it's just like a you know, a couple of outhouses, small little building. This can grow to a big old skyscraper the bigger your empire grows. Okay, so with our HQ put down, I am going to leave it there. We've made a really good start on our empire, and I think this is going to grow really, really nicely. We're already over 500,000, ready to invest that money into a bigger industry, maybe some other industries, and let's see how big we can build this. Thank you for watching this. I am going to do a full Let's Play on this. I'll do a full series. I might continue from here. I might start from scratch. But what else do you guys want to see? Do you want to see some planes? Do you want to see some boats? Do you want to see some more complicated road and rail networks? Don't forget to leave likes and comments. And if you're not already, please subscribe. It really helps with the growth of the channel. And we'll be seeing some more of OpenTTD soon. Thank you for watching. See you soon.